Welcome to Tempered Tides in the third part in our four-part Portugal series. To get to the southern coast of Portugal, where we started the Fisherman's Trail, Kendra and I used the metro to travel to the Orient transportation hub in Lisbon. The bus station is just a short walk from the subway entrance and easy to find. I booked our bus tickets a couple days prior on the Flixbus website. The bus route to the southern coast leaves every few hours, but we chose to take the 10 a.m. bus so we could arrive in Lagos in the early afternoon and have time to explore. Ride time was about 4 hours, and I think the bus fare was 12 euros each and included our bags. The website gives you an option to pay for overnight or additional bags, but in my opinion, that's a waste of money. None of the bus drivers cared about the size or weight of our baggage. We each had a large suitcase and day pack for our entire time in Portugal, and I personally loaded our stuff in the cargo hold of the bus with no issues. When we arrived in Lagos at the town bus terminal, we took a taxi for 15 euros to the Cascade Wellness Resort near the coast. The Cascade Wellness is a very nice resort, and they provided us with an apartment style space for the night. That afternoon, we explored the cliffs and the lighthouse of Ponta da Piedade and caught an amazing sunset. The Cascade Wellness Resort was a strategic choice because the Fisherman's Trail was just off the property and easy to jump onto the next morning. When we departed the next morning, I had arranged for the resort to hold our suitcases while we trekked on the trail, and the resort provided this service free of charge. On the map, our route and towns are depicted from right to left or east to west in orange. The trail was simple to get onto from the Cascade Wellness Resort and easy to follow using the orange and blue striped blazes. Overall, the trail is a nice walk with a constant breeze that is hard packed between towns, with cobblestone sidewalks and paved roads in the towns. The correct way is marked with orange and blue parallel stripes on posts, trees, bricks, walls, anything they can find to stripe. While the wrong way is marked with an orange and blue X. The first day was 7.1 miles from Lagos to Praia de Luz and took us 4 hours at a leisurely pace. The first section also had only a couple of short ascents along a mainly cliff-lined coast. In Luz, we stayed at the Bella Vista de Luz, about half a mile up a slight incline from the beach. The nice thing about this hotel was the use of their Turkish bath with a sauna and steam room that was a super relaxing after that day's walk. We ended up that night having dinner at a place called Jacaranda, a Thai noodle dish that was super good in the town center. The following day from Luz, we set out mid-morning on the trail along the coast to the next town. This distance was 8.2 miles and took us just under 4.5 hours, and introduced a few more ascents and descents along the coast, which meant we walked by some incredible, secluded, and undeveloped beaches. About halfway into the walk this day, we stopped in Burgau and had a coffee and ice cream at a small cafe overlooking the beach. Our day ended in Salema, where we stayed at a very well-hosted bed and breakfast called Romantique Villa. The couple who hosted this bed and breakfast were extremely kind and gracious. An added bonus was a friendly golden retriever named Papaya. The final day was the longest at 11.5 miles and took a time of about 6.5 hours for us to walk. This is the most secluded section as it is located within a protected area of the southern coast. It also means you need to bring enough water for the journey, as there is only one restaurant on this section at Praia do Zovial, where you can get a bite to eat and top up on your water. This section also drifts a bit inland and away from the coast, walking through an open field of grass and flowers. Our final accommodation in Sagres was the Moretta Beach House. We arrived and checked in with enough time to head to the Moretta Beach House, the actual Moretta Beach, enclosed by cliffs on each side, and soaked up some sun before it set. After breakfast at the Moretta Beach House, we hopped on a Vamos bus and headed back to Lagos to retrieve our luggage from the Cascade Wellness. This particular bus was a pay in cash for your ticket when you got on and cost 650 euros per person. I did some pre-planning to ensure we could take a bus from Sagres to Lagos and then another one from Lagos to Albufeira. In Lagos, We took a quick taxi to retrieve our luggage and then returned to the bus station for the follow on ride to Albufeira. For this southern section of the Fisherman's Trail, we did not do a luggage transfer as it was only 3 days staying in established accommodations, so there was no need to carry a bunch of camping gear or clothing. I think we hit the trail at a great time of the year, the beginning of spring, because the weather and temperatures were ideal. We did not encounter the crowds of the summer high season, and additionally, all the wildflowers were just starting to bloom. However, if we had to do it over again, I think early to mid-April would have been a better, even better time of the year. More wildflowers would be in bloom. The weather would still be nice, and the crowds still avoided, and all of that happening at the same time. We actually did only a third of the Fisherman's Trail, as the entire trail continues up the western coast, almost all the way back up to Lisbon. Instead of using a travel company to book our trip and accommodation, I booked the hotels on my own through Expedia. I did this a few months in advance to ensure we had places to stay in the beach towns, as they are small and limited with limited options. However, since it was a shoulder season, the prices were lower and the crowds thinner. The final stage of our journey at the W Algarve Resort and Greater Algarve region is up next. Have a good one and see you next time on Timber to Tides.